Barcelona, located on the northeastern coast of Spain along the Mediterranean Sea. It's the capital of Catalonia, an autonomous community with its own language and soul, an identity that gives Barcelona its unmistakable character. It feels like a daydream here, one of sun-soaked afternoons filled with tapas and wine, architecture that feels dreamed rather than designed. But the very things that make it magical are the source of its troubles. Barcelona is now a global symbol of over-tourism and all the problems that come with that. So, how do you experience a city that's been loved too much? Can you still find the real Barcelona beneath the crowds? And what does it mean to be a good guest, not just a tourist? Barcelona moves slower than cities like New York or London. There's art here in the everyday, and a clear devotion to beauty, seen clearly in its architecture. The most prevalent style here is modernista, buildings unapologetically over the top, inspired by the form and rhythms of nature. A Catalan take on Art Nouveau that became a declaration of regional identity. Architects of this era shaped modern Barcelona, and none more than Gaudi, a name now inseparable from the city itself. The Sagrada Familia, his magnum opus, dominates the skyline, Barcelona's most iconic silhouette.
We are in front of the Sagrada Familia, which is one of the most famous churches in the entire world. And the church was designed by Catalan architect Gaudi, and his work has really come to define the modern aesthetics and character of Barcelona. It's really hard to think about the city of Barcelona without also thinking about Gaudi. So if you come here, it's inevitable that you'll come across his work. And construction for the Sagrada Familia started in 1882, and now in 2025, well over 100 years later, the church is still under construction. You can actually see cranes above it, so it's been a work in progress for a long, long time. I guess when you're designing such an intricate masterpiece, it just takes a while. The architecture of the church is what makes it very unique. You have an interesting mix of classic Gothic elements mixed with Catalan modernism, which is kind of their version of Art Nouveau. And then you have the really specific Gaudi details. He was very influenced by nature, plants, trees, the sea, seashells, bones, and you can see those details if you zoom in real close. Barcelona is notorious for being one of the most touristic destinations in Europe and really in the world. And you can kind of see that here. Just the sea of tourists. It's quite controversial. Locals really do not like it, but this is the daily reality here, especially as we approach peak summer travel season. A walking tour to see Gaudi's work is a must-do while here in Barcelona. Behind me is Casa Pedrera, another one of Gaudi's structures, and you can really see the influence of nature on his work here. The way the building waves on the side, it's designed to look like waves of the sea or the sides of cliffs. The iron balconies are designed to look like vines or seaweed, and on the rooftop, you can see the structures peeking out over there. Those are designed to look like warriors or natural rock formations.
At the turn of the 20th century, Barcelona's elite sought to flaunt their status. Commissioning wildly opulent architecture was one way to do this. An unspoken rivalry took hold between architects and the clients backing them, each trying to outdo one another in flair and originality. Gaudi's Casa Batlló, once the private residence of a textile mogul, remains one of this rivalry's most iconic results.
The final stop on our Gaudi architectural tour is Casa Batlló. The exterior is made with the imperfect tiles that Gaudi is very famous for, and it's designed to emulate dragon scales or fish scales. The balconies look like coral reefs or skulls. Everyone has kind of a different interpretation. And the inside is supposedly designed to look like an underwater world. All right, we're going in to see Casa Batlló. So this part here is made to look like the spine of a prehistoric animal and is made of oak. Look at the stained glass up there. Gaudi really played with light and you can already see it. I love how maximalist Gaudi's designs are. So much color, so many bold shapes. It's definitely different than the millennial gray and beiges we've been subjected to in the last few years. If you're traveling this summer, you're going to need some sturdy, dependable luggage, especially if you're traveling through Europe like we are. And alleyways and sidewalks like this are historic and charming, but not exactly smooth. After a lot of trial and error, we discovered level 8 luggage, and they've quickly become one of our travel essentials. We use the Voyager set, which comes with this spacious check-in bag and this sleek carry-on bag. Both of these fit everything we own, and the hard shell exterior keeps our camera gear very safe. My personal favorite features are the wide top handle and the quiet 360-degree spinner wheels, which glide effortlessly across any surface, even if the bags are carrying 30 to 50 pounds apiece. This makes long travel days and getting to and from our hotels really, really easy. So if you're looking for your next go-to summer luggage, head to level 8 and use my code DOTS on a map for an exclusive 10% off. I'll drop the link in the description box below.
What's the thing to do in Barcelona? Or anywhere in Spain, really? You drink the local wine. Plenty of it. Preferably at a counter, surrounded by others doing the same thing. And you eat these, tapas, traditional small plates of Spanish snacks made for sharing.
We are here for the most Spanish of traditions, a slow, indulgent lunch at a tapas bar. And this one is very special. There's no menu, so you just come in and they ask you about your allergies, what you like, what you don't like, and they just bring you a selection of delicious food. So you surrender to the restaurant.
One glass of wine.
Ooh! All right, cheers. Gosh, everything just looks amazing. I feel like a construction worker ogling a hot girl every time they bring by a new dish.
Catalan food has its own identity. Spanish, yes, but unmistakably its own. Take this. Toasted bread rubbed with tomato, garlic, and olive oil. It's practically a religion, served with every meal. Here, the cuisine isn't about elaborate technique. It's about letting fresh, local ingredients like seafood, meats, and vegetables speak for themselves.
Okay, we just watched them flip it, cooked completely fresh potato omelet. That's so good. It's like moist, delicious. I don't know. This is a strong statement, but this might be the best fresh tuna I've ever had. Let's see if Lenza agrees. Yeah. It's not bad.
Friend, cheers.
Gracias. First time trying Cova. It is apparently the Spanish version of Prosecco, so a sparkling white wine. Cheers. It's refreshing. They know how to do a good wine in Spain, that's for damn sure. All right, cheers. It's just delicious dish after delicious dish. They just keep coming. Thank you. Oh my gosh.
Oh boy. Enjoy your meal.
It's like the most beautiful octopus I've seen. I think this is the right way to do Barcelona. You can run around and see all the sights, and you should if it's your first time here. It's a lot of beautiful things, but I think this is what you should be doing. You find an amazing restaurant serving local cuisine, fresh ingredients. You sit for a few hours, have 3 to 5 glasses of wine, and just enjoy your life. That is the proper way to enjoy Spain.
We all carry preconceived notions of Europe, many of them romanticized, of wine-soaked evenings, or sipping coffee at quaint cafes tucked into narrow atmospheric streets. And on this, Barcelona's Gothic Quarter delivers.
We are in the Gothic Quarter. This is the oldest neighborhood in Barcelona, and here you can get a feel of what the city was like before modern urban planning. Back in medieval times, this was a dense, walled city. It's mostly pedestrian, and it's now one of the touristic hearts of the city, but we've come here early so we can experience the magic a little bit more on our own than normal.
The Gothic Quarter is layered with over 2,000 years of history. Sitting atop ruins of a Roman colony founded in 15 BCE, it was the political and religious center of medieval Barcelona for centuries. The whole neighborhood feels like, and is, an open-air museum.
The architecture in general in this neighborhood is just amazing. And on this side, this government building, you have a lot of classic Gothic architectural elements. The spires, the details, the gargoyle-like figurines. It's just incredible. And even more so because they were probably hand-carved. They don't really make buildings like this anymore, unfortunately. This bridge behind me has become one of the most iconic landmarks in the Gothic Quarter, and it's built in this very historic Gothic architectural style. But interestingly, even though it looks old, it was built in 1928 as part of a romantic revitalization of Gothic architecture. So it is quite new, despite appearances. I heard someone.
The most prominent structure in the Gothic Quarter is the Barcelona Cathedral. Construction began in the 13th century and took over 150 years to complete. Its ornate facade was added much later, however, during the 19th century Gothic revival. Today, it draws the kind of crowds more often seen at rock concerts. One more symbol of the city's uneasy balance between beauty and tourism. Ah, the quintessential Instagram versus reality moment.
I'm currently on the balcony of our Airbnb. We're staying in the Eixample neighborhood, which is very central and close to all the attractions, but the part we're in is a bit quieter. And today, I thought we'd show you around the neighborhood we're staying in and how we're spending our days. Look at this, so beautiful, what the hell? It's just here. I just love how walkable Barcelona is. The sidewalks are really wide, public transport is amazing, and in most places it's just a visual delight. And this is what I mean about the architecture here. Look at these incredibly detailed, beautiful stone-carved balconies behind me. This is just a normal apartment building and just a magnificent piece of art. It's a little bit after lunch and people are hanging out. You can really see the lifestyle here. It's social, people are with their friends. And I think this is one really big differentiation between Spanish and maybe European culture in general with American culture. In Europe, you have these quote-unquote third places outside of your home or work where you can gather with your friends and hang out for a few hours without having to spend a lot of money. In America, we don't really have that. And here you also have the outdoor spaces. So it creates this really lively social vibe, which I really love.
Most neighborhoods in Barcelona have their own local market, many of them historic. Known as Mercats, some have become overcrowded tourist attractions. But many, like Santa Caterina Market in Elborn, are where locals still go to shop for fresh ingredients or sit down for a classic lunch.
Whenever we travel, we love visiting markets like this one because you really get a sense of what the local ingredients are. And in Spain specifically, these local ingredients are very exciting. Here's the famous jamón bellota, cured ham made with pigs that have been fed exclusively acorns. Spanish food has just been an absolute revelation on this trip for me.
Tucked behind vendors selling all kinds of Spanish delicacies is Barlló, an institution for over 40 years. Here, there's no frills, nothing fancy, just humble, delicious comfort food served from behind the counter.
This place is called Barlló, and it serves very traditional Spanish tapas in a classic counter setting, which we have grown quite fond of. I'm very excited, we're really hungry. Okay, we got some classics, blood sausage, snails and sauce with what looks like sausage, and then the classic jamón, cured ham. So good. This is fun. My first snail in Spain. That's really good. This is the tripe of the house, tripa de la casa. It's really nice. A little gamey, but delicious and savory. I love how food is such a quintessential part of Spanish culture. There's an emphasis on really high quality ingredients and then just the ritual of eating itself. You know, you sit with friends for a few hours with wine, eat small plates slowly. It really is a revelation. It's skyrocketed to my top 3 favorite cuisines in the entire world. I'm gonna have to take a siesta after this lunch. I definitely see why the tradition exists.
Barceloneta, known today for its sandy beaches and the many tourist restaurants and nightclubs along its boardwalk. In the 1800s, it was a fishing village, and despite booming tourism in recent years, its back streets still carry the quiet charm of salt, sea, and a slower way of life.
We're at a restaurant called La Cova Fumada, which has been open since 1944, and the decor feels like it's probably stayed the same since 1944, and that's part of the charm. And we're here for some breakfast seafood.
The menu here probably hasn't changed much in the last 80 years. Fresh local seafood, cooked simply, the Catalan way, along with heavier stewed dishes, real rustic, warming comfort food.
And we've ordered our first tapa to start the day. This is called La Bomba. It is a fried potato tapa, and apparently they invented it right here. kind of tastes like mashed potato with a crispy fried exterior. A little sardine. We love these. Cheers. They're fried, but very light and crispy, and made with garlic, herbs, and olive oil. All right, with our new friend Bengt, sharing some morcilla or blood sausage. It's good?
Why do we love places like this so much? These old school, hole-in-the-wall joints. Maybe it's the feeling of a nostalgia that doesn't belong to us. Or maybe it's because we're chasing the ghost of the old Barcelona, one that existed before the tourist apocalypse. We never knew it, but somehow we desperately want to be a part of it anyway.
We've come to Bunkers del Carmel to watch the sunset, and here you can find one of the best views of all of Barcelona. And it's quite cool to see the city from this perspective. You can kind of make out the super block neighborhoods and the grid system that a lot of the city is built in. And a lot of the city is kind of at the same level, but then you have the Sagrada Familia, which you can see very clearly from here, and it towers over everything else. It really helps you understand the sheer scale of this project. And I've been loving Barcelona. I'm so happy we came here. Over the last few days, really fallen in love with the lifestyle and the food and just the vibes here. And I'm already looking forward to spending more time here.